welcome to Kicking It Local, the podcast all about the football community in South Australia. I'm your host, Johnny Keko, and this is the WNPL preview with the clubs. Across 3 parts, I'll be chatting with players, coaches and chairmen to get an insight ahead of the 2023 season, which sees the Women's World Cup on home soil. In part 1, I'll be chatting with Flinders United's head coach Joel Porter and captain Anastasia Willoughby. Plus, Tracey Jenkins, a treble-winning coach at West Adelaide Soccer Club, will be joining me as well ahead of their season to try and get back on top and be champions once again. But first, let's chat with Adelaide City's Bianca Gray. Let's get into part 1 of WNPL preview with the club. I'm here with Adelaide City's WNPL player, Bianca Gray. Thank you for joining me, Bianca.
Thanks for having me.
It's a big year this year. Women's World Cup is on our home soil here in Australia and South Australia getting a few games. What legacy are you hoping that the women's game and also your club will be able to get out of this World Cup being here in Australia?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting that it's here, and especially a few games in Adelaide. Local people are going to get to see some of the best players in the world on our home soil. So I'm really hoping that inspire some of the younger girls that either haven't started playing yet or are playing but think, okay, well, maybe that's where I can get to when I get a bit older. So I'm hoping that it inspires some of the young girls that we have here in Adelaide or across Australia.
And then also the Football South Australia will be breaking for a few weeks while the World Cup is being played here in South Australia. What's your thoughts about this new feature for the season?
I think it's exciting because it means it gives us guys an opportunity to actually attend some of the games, travel interstate for some of the Australia games as well. And also it gives us, I guess, older senior players in the league a couple of weeks break to refresh, ready for the second half of the season.
Also this season we're heading into the second year of a 10-team competition in the WNPL. How do you find that change in the last couple of years, and what's your thoughts around bridging the gap between WSL and WNPL?
I really like the 10-team comp. I think it gives you a bit more variety, more teams that you get to verse against rather than playing the same team maybe 5 or 6 times in the same year. And I think we've seen from last year even to pre-season this year, the gap between the top teams and the bottom teams is starting to close. And I think, with some of the teams that are coming up this year, we're starting to see that the quality is there. So hopefully that means that the gap between the state league and our league is getting closer, and that as teams come and rotate through or get promoted, they're not going to get pushed straight down again. They're going to have that time in this league.
And your club especially have had some A-League women players playing them over the last couple of years. This season A-League women finishes a bit later, so which means the league's going to be without a few of them. How do you think that's going to change the way the season starts for yourself and the rest of the clubs?
Obviously, with having some of those bigger names, more, experienced players not in the league, it gives opportunities for younger ones or ones that were fringe players that couldn't quite break in because of those more experienced players. So this is their chance to try and cement their spot before some of those A-League players come back and potentially play for a few weeks in that middle part of the season.
And finally, we'll wrap it all off in Women's World Cup question as well. It's going to be a big year. I'm looking forward to it, and I know a lot of people are as well. But when it finally arrives in July, what are you looking forward to most about having the World Cup here in Australia?
I'm really excited about it being here because you can feel the atmosphere building in the lead up to. So I feel like it's only going to be bigger and better when the world's best players are here in Australia.
Have you selected any games to go to just yet?
I have locked in the England versus China game at Cooper Stadium, so I'm really looking forward to that one.
Beautiful. All the best, and hopefully you enjoy the World Cup, and that game's going to be a cracker. Looking forward to it, and good luck for the season 2023.
Thank you very much. Go City.
That was Bianca Gray from Adelaide City. I'm here at the Women's Memorial Oval, the home of Flinders United. I'm here with the head coach, Joel Porter, and his captain, Anastasia Willoughby. Thank you guys for joining me.
No problems, anytime.
Thanks for having us.
It is great to be up here, and what a year it is as well. The Women's World Cup is on home soil this season. Joel, I'll ask you first, what is the importance of this tournament being on home soil, and what legacy do you and the club wish to get out of this?
Yeah, it's massive for the girls' game here in not only South Australia, but Australia itself. Our girls' national team's doing really well at the moment and progressing beautifully, and winning games are important games, and it's about getting our grassroots right. And if our grassroots can see what we're doing up at that higher level, it's obviously an opportunity for us to show them what's available, and having games here in Adelaide is going to be great as well, and hopefully most of our girls are got an opportunity to go and watch a couple of games, and if not live, and then on TV. And us being a female-only club here in South Australia, it's just really important, and we just want to show our juniors that there's a pathway. There's something that if you want to aspire to go play for the Matildas, then we're an option for that.
Talking about having the games here in Adelaide, I'll go to you now, Anastasia. This is one of the only states in Australia that are stopping the league for the World Cup. How do you feel about that, having a break during the World Cup?
I think it's really important, not only for us WNPL girls, but for all the other leagues as well, to see if us NPL girls are going out and watching all the games, that there is a pathway for the younger girls to come up. And as Joel said, for the girls at Flinders, it's a really big opportunity for us to be stepping up into the NPL this season, and for Football South Australia to provide a gap in our season to go and watch the games. It's a really, really good opportunity for the juniors and under 17s, under 15s, all the div teams to see that football for women in South Australia is growing, and there are pathways, and there's clubs and teams providing opportunities for girls. And it's a really good opportunity for South Australia to be having a gap, and it would be really good to see the other states doing that as well.
Well, you're in a great position to talk about this, Joel. The WNPL heading into the second year of the 10-team comp. How do you feel that this has changed the way women's football in South Australia is, and bridging that gap between WSL and WNPL?
Yeah, look, it's there's a bit of a gap at the moment between the two leagues, if we're honest, and people in the game know that. But the priority is closing that gap, and to do that we need to resource the women's game and get the right teams in both leagues. I think we're on our way to doing that. I've said previously in other interviews that there's good coaches around, good coaches getting appointment within the women's game, which is definitely helping. And then also, clubs are realising that, the junior girls and women's community leagues are just as important. So they're focusing on that, and I guess they're putting a little bit of their money into that side of the game as well, which is obviously lifting the standards. We're probably a little bit way off, maybe 5-6 years from having two really competitive leagues. But having the 10 teams in the WNPL is, I think, going to be strong this year. I think the gap's definitely closed. We're probably going to be I guess from the outside, people are going to be thinking that we may struggle coming from where we've come from. But we've recruited well. We've got a really experienced and youth side mix. And we want these challenges. That's why these girls are here at this club, because they wanted to get promoted and have the opportunity to play WNPL, and it's an opportunity for them to prove themselves.
And with this year as well, the A-League women is finishing a lot later than normal, which means that some of the teams are going to be without some of the big names in their squad. How do you think that changes the way you'll tackle the beginning half of the season?
Oh, look, I haven't really looked at it, to be honest. I think most of the squads are pretty strong anyway without these girls. So, I guess you could say technically it should be a little bit easier for us, but it's not. There's sometimes when the girls come back from the W League, some of the squads tend to take their foot off the pedal a little bit, because the expectation on these better players is a little bit high. And early in the year, obviously with them not being there, the opposition they tend to fight more and have a bit more of a squad basis squad, which makes it a little bit tougher. But, on the flip side, it'd be nice to have them there, because it's an opportunity for our girls to play against the best, and just to show them, what's expected and what the next level is. So when they do come, our girls will definitely be looking forward to it.
Some of the changes you've made into this season, what are some of the girls we should look out for in your squad heading into 2023?
Oh, well, I'm not the best with names. But... Look, we've not been able to recruit many girls from that have had WNPL experience. A lot of them have either been fringe at other clubs or girls that have come through our system. But obviously, our captain Anna, she's had a little bit of experience with the NTC squad in WNPL. So she's someone to look forward to. We've got Poppy Madden in the midfield, who has been with the club now for 3-4 years, is still young. She plays in the midfield as well. She's looking really strong in pre-season there at the moment. We've got Lexi Denton, who unfortunately had to go away for pre-season, but she was one of our stronger girls last year. But she's back now, so we're hoping that within the first month she'll be back, and she's a real quality defender, fast, quick, strong in the tackle, good in possession. We've got Hannah, our goalkeeper. She's amazing. She's got a bit of a cricket background, but has played soccer juniors for Cumberland prior to the merger. And she's been fantastic. She's a rock at the back there and is brilliant with her feet, and probably one of the only keepers that I've seen that can come out and grab a corner as well. So we've got a few girls. We've got a good mix. We've got some experienced girls up front that hopefully can put some chances away when we create them. But yeah, look, we don't have what you call superstars, but we have a strong squad and girls that can replace each other when there's injuries or suspensions.
Anastasia, how do you feel being a part of that list that Joel just rattled off right there?
Well, overall, I think I just feel honoured to be a part of a team where Joel was even struggling to just name all the players, because honestly, every single girl on the pitch deserves to be there, and the girls on the bench and the girls in reserves and even the girls coming up through the 17s and the div squads. Everyone is just so deserving of the spots that they've been given the opportunity to have. And I know that it's hard for Joel and for the assistant coach Adam and even those reserves coaches to pick the starting 11 every single week, because every single day, every single training, the girls just come in guns a-blazing, trying their hardest in the games, always looking to impress not only the coaches but to lift their teammates and to show the other team that we can be the better side and we can go into the season and hold our heads high and keep them up high no matter what happens.
Well, it looks like it's going to be an exciting season for the both of you, but the Women's World Cup, July is when it all kicks off. What are you looking forward to the most out of it? Any fixtures or maybe going interstate or anything?
Myself, personally, I'm staying here and I'm going to see some of the games live, and I know that a lot of the other Flinders girls are going as well, so I think just mostly looking forward to watching games on our home soil and seeing the girls play live, the ones that we've grown up with watching on TV and our idols right in front of us playing on home pitches. Yeah, just again, not only watching the games here in SA, but all the quality teams that are coming over, and I think if it's going by last Women's World Cup, that was fantastic. And if this one can improve again, then I think most of the games are going to be enjoyable to watch, exciting, plenty of goals, and most importantly, hopefully the Matildas do really well.
Well, we're looking forward to all that. Thank you for joining me, and good luck in this season in 2023. Hopefully, it's a great WNPL year for you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was Joel Porter and Anastasia Willoughby from Flinders United. I'm here with the head coach of West Adelaide, the treble winners for 2022, Tracey Jenkins. Thank you for joining.
No problems, thank you.
A big year for you last year as a club to win the treble as West Adelaide, but this year is a big year not only for the club or the local league, but also women's football in general. We've got the World Cup on our shores. I know you're a big ambassador for this, the women's game and the Women's World Cup, but how important do you see this as being on home soil and for the club, and what legacy do you hope we can get out of it?
I think just having the best female players in the world on our shores and inspiring our junior players is just brilliant. I think it will set us hopefully up for the next 3 or 4 years and inspire young women to play the game.
This year, Football South Australia doing something different to all the other states where we're breaking for 3 weeks. From your perspective, how do you think that impacts you guys, and how important do you reckon that is for the women's game?
Look, I think it's great. Obviously, several of my players want to go and watch and want to be a part of that, and I think that's really important. I think it's important we support it. I think they'll have that break, they'll come back reinvigorated, And I think it's a good thing. Very important.
This year WNPL is a 10-team comp once again. Second year it's happened. How do you feel about the change that's happened? And would you say it's bridged the gap between WNPL and WSL?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's, the bigger we can get the competition, the more people that have an opportunity to play. We've got several players that have moved into our club that have come from lower divisions, and they're doing really well. So I think it's a good thing. So it's really good.
The A-League Women is finishing later this season compared to normal, which means the league's going to be without some of the big guns from the LA United Women. How do you see this change affecting the league and also maybe the way that you guys kick off 2023?
It's an opportunity, isn't it? It's an opportunity for players to be a part of getting a pathway through that next level. So I think all clubs are in the same. There's no advantage or disadvantage to it. I think it just creates opportunities, and obviously pleased for the girls that they get. It's important that they're a part of the A-League as long as they can. It'd be nice to have a competition longer. It'd be nice for them to be, have that to be working throughout the year with the A-League.
Absolutely, it would be. Do you reckon we can get to that point at some point where we see the women's and the men's pretty much a similar setup?
Oh, absolutely. It will happen. Hopefully it'll happen soon, but yeah, it'll definitely happen. Has to happen.
And in terms of players this season, you are without a couple of players from last year's team. What kind of changes have you made this season with players? And is there anyone we should look out for this season?
Look, it's interesting because, yes, we are a different squad. We've had some really important players from our team that have gone to Melbourne and also been part of the A-League. But we've had some really good players come in as well. So it is a rebuild, but I'm excited about it. I think the players are excited about it as well. A key player for us, obviously, again, you're looking at Rachel Quigley, who has come in to be a part of the coaching group this year. Laura Johns, again, who has also come in as part of our coaching team, which is fantastic to see more women come in and get exposed to that. So we're really excited about the input that they're bringing. We've got Vic, who's come in from the NTC program, who we're really excited about. We've got a Canadian girl, Yaz, that's coming over as well. So yeah, we'll have some, and every single player in our team, I think, everyone that we've got, the players that have come to us, they've all got potential, and I think they're all going to have a great season. Do
you feel there's a bit of pressure though as being the treble winners last year in 2022? Is there a bit of pressure coming into the season, or are you finding it a little bit easier?
Do you know what? It's interesting because I think there was more pressure last year because the expectation was that, West Adelaide had always been the bridesmaid, so the pressure on the players, honestly, the pressure on myself as well, to get success for the club, which is a great club. I think this year there's that relief, there's that sense of relief. We know that there's a rebuild. We know that we've got some quality players. Most of our players, all of our players are quality players, and it's exciting. It's exciting to have that opportunity to develop this group and to have such a great coaching team around with Quigs and Laura on board. So yeah, I think it's an exciting year. There's always pressure when you're in a big club, but we're also realistic.
Last season, at the end of after you won the grand final at Service FM Stadium, the Zorba came on over the speakers, and you guys all danced. How well did you know going into that dance, and have you practiced it just in case it happens again?
You know what? Not very well, I'm sure. I'm sure you saw that. But you know what? It is such a, it was really nice. It's really important, the culture in the club. The girls are very, very proud of that. Zoe as well. It's part of tradition. Yes, I think hopefully we will be in that situation. There might be a bit of practice going into that space.
You got to do your normal training and then 3 nights a week, and then maybe chuck in a Zorba one on a Tuesday or something.
We'll get Zoe onto that.
Well, finally, I want to end it off with the World Cup. Obviously, World Cup year here. July it all kicks off. What are you looking forward to most about the Women's World Cup being on our shores?
Look, again, just the promotion of women's football, those role models, the beautiful game. I'm looking for those moments of not only team brilliance, but those players that stand up and make a difference and inspire our young Australian players. And obviously the Matildas will do that, but there's also some fantastic players in and around England and the other clubs. So, it's really exciting.
It's going to be a buzz around, and I can't wait for July. But thank you for joining me, Tracey. Good luck for this year. Hopefully you and the girls can try and make it another successful one for the club. But all the best in 2023.
All right, and thank you for the opportunity.
That was Tracey Jenkins from West Adelaide. That's all for part 1 of WNPL Preview with the clubs. That was Bianca Gray, Joel Porter and Anastasia Willoughby, and Tracey Jenkins. Keep an eye out for part 2 out tomorrow, right here on Kicking It Local. Make sure you subscribe to Kicking It Local wherever you get your podcasts so you can get a taste of the SA football community. Plus, follow @KickingItLocal SA on Instagram and Twitter so you don't miss any of the action. See you soon!